Welcome back. Today we want to talk about the latest version of the PSV software. This was released a few months ago. 10.0 was a big release, of course, and then the 10.1 also brought quite a few new features. One of the ones that stood out in 10.0, in case you haven't checked it out yet, is the automatic 3D alignment. This is a big boost in the amount of time reduction in doing the 3D alignment, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. Today I just want to talk to you briefly about some of the notable features in 10.1. So 10.1, again, the best resource is always look at the release notes, but there's a new display mode for animations. There's a peak picking now, frequency band editor, new options there, new video formats, some stitching options with the microsystem analyzers, and SigPro as well. So yeah, here's the new display option. You'll see this with the latest version of the software. It's arrows. So apart from scan points and isolines and surfaces, now we can get something called arrows. It's pretty neat. What I like about it is this. It shows the arrows in the direction of the movement. So these are like three-dimensional, I guess, directional arrows. So it's especially for like flat panel structures. If you have slight in-plane component, it's a little more intuitive to see it now. Peak picking has finally arrived. So everybody or anybody who has used our software, you're kind of used to dragging the peaks around the peaks to find the peak and then, excited those bands. Now there are some options to just automate this process. So definitely play around with it. You kind of play around with the settings somewhat, but I've tried it. It works pretty well. There might always be a band or two you might miss, but you can always do, assign those manually as well. The .avi, the AVI format is out now and has been replaced with either GIF or MP4 or the Windows media file format. These are higher quality and, if you install it somewhere, basically like the PowerPoint here, it just runs uninterrupted. So slight improvements in quality and without compromising what you had with the AVIs. So like this. SigPro, if you have not used SigPro, you guys are missing out. So it's a very powerful post-processing part of the software that's built into the PSV or the VibSoft softwares. And you can take data there, do superimpose different plots, recalculate things, resample. You can do a bunch of different operations on your data, FFT, inverse FFT. I can keep going on and on. And now this particular option, this particular software, SigPro, we have added a bunch of standard parameters that are available with the main software, like auto power, cross power, coherence. You can calculate all this within the SigPro environment. So if you've not used SigPro before, it's about time. And if you have used it, now it's become even more powerful. The same functions, the new functions, the auto powers and the cross powers, different FRFs, have also been added to the PolyMath library. What this means is that you can always query these, access, and use these if you are using to import data or accessing our PolyMath library through MATLAB or Python or some other source. So this is also a big plus with the latest version of the software. There's a special option now for point selection, and now you can select the points on the edges, the edge points. What's the big deal with this? So this is most critical when you're importing geometries where you have hundreds and thousands of points, and the points on the edges are always, sometimes you got to pull them in or push them out. It was difficult. It was a manual process to select these manually. Now you can, there's an option. You just say, hey, select edge points. So that's a big one. And finally, again, I just picked a few, but there are a lot more. This was one of the most requested feature with our MSA product lines. I have a certain field of view. I have this big stage. Why can't I stitch my data? So now the data stitching has been enabled through a macro that is pre-written for you. You create an overview image of all the different patches of measurements, and then the software takes over and automatically makes these measurements and puts it together and gives you a stitched measurement. So there you go. We have that as well. And that concludes this short presentation. Have you installed the latest version? If not, if you're not sure how to do it, reach out to us. We'll be happy to help. Until next time, bye.